Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. The husband in our first story was probably also intelligent enough to know his wife could get into trouble for the crap she's doing, realizing she was lucky that day that OP was a nice guy. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. It's not always roses. Cast: me, John Cho; rude lady, Charlize Theron; nice husband, Sean Patrick Flannery; actual worker, John Favreau. It was a dark and stormy night. Well, night was rapidly approaching, and I really just wanted to upgrade my current earbuds to a pair of Bluetooth ones so I could ride my motorcycle easier and not have the cord yanked out of the phone randomly. I ventured into the local Best Buy, having left the helmet secured to my bike and wearing a riding jacket, jeans, and boots. Underneath, I had on a blue shirt, which was revealed as I undid the zippers on the jacket. I started browsing the headphones before selecting a cheap pair that would simply work for now, until I get the Cena helmet Bluetooth system. I was readying the packaging when I got a rather hard tap on my armored shoulder. Rude lady: Sir, you need to not shop when you're on the clock. And you must be in proper uniform, not that jacket. Me: wait, what? Sorry? Rude lady: I guess you must be off the clock then, but it's still unprofessional to not greet customers when they're in the aisle with you. On the clock or not, it's your store. Take pride in it. Me: sorry, it's just... RL: apology accepted. Now, I'm a general manager at another Best Buy, and you can be sure I'm going to let your department supervisor know. What's your name? Me: OP? But you're not going to... During this, her husband, at least I would assume, was meekly trying to get her attention. He went to tap her on the shoulder when she started up again. RL: listen, I may not be a manager at this store, but I will not be disrespected by a worker. Which store do you work for? Me: local auto dealership, product specialist. I have a card in here somewhere. Nice husband: I've been trying to tell you that. He has a blue shirt on under his jacket. Rude lady glares at him, then back at me as I turned away. RL: maybe he shouldn't be wearing that blue shirt. It's easy to think he works here. That's when nice husband became a real good guy Greg. He gave her this incredulous stare, then cleared his throat. NH: listen, honey, this is your store, so take pride in it. Stop harassing other customers and let's leave. You keep saying how bad this store is anyway. Leave the nice man alone so he can buy his headphones. RL mutters something about uniforms and store policy. At that moment, an actual worker showed up and asked if they needed help. I took that as my cue to leave the situation and go pay for my headset. As I fired up the bike, I paired the headset and had some great music playing as I began the 30-minute trek back to a local park to meet a friend for some Pokemon Go raids. Then my headset battery died. Lesson learned: charge it before riding. Oh well. And our second story. Apparently, I'm insubordinate for not being able to finish my work. So I used to work behind the deli counter in a Kroger, which is just a basic grocery store in the Northeast United States. 2 days a week, shipments of food would come in, of course, and a person from each department would go to the back of the store to retrieve their boxes for stocking shelves. One day, I came in after the shipment and was instructed to empty the boxes on the cart, stock the shelves during my shift, and put the remainder of my stock in the walk-in fridge. No big deal. Well, this afternoon was near Easter, and the store was rather busy. I had a regular stream of customers ordering sliced meat and cheese, not in small amounts either. Some people wanted whole hams and cheese blocks sliced up, as well as cold pasta salads and food from the hot bar. Just as a reminder, I was the only one behind the counter, no coworkers to help me. I was constantly cleaning my slicer as it became a disgusting mess about every hour. Not to mention, it was also my job to empty the hot case halfway through my shift and cook all the new food so the customers got fresher product. I, of course, also had to thoroughly clean my station before leaving and take out all the trash and wash all the dishes. And needless to say, I was left with no time to empty my cart. Stocking my shelves would have required me to spend extended periods of time away from the deli counter, and I literally could not do that. So I pushed the whole cart into the walk-in to take care of it another day. I arrived the next day. This time there's a coworker with me, let's call her June, As I'm clocking in, June informs me that our store manager is waiting behind the counter to speak to me. I got an earful about my responsibilities and how I inconvenienced my department manager who worked the morning shift and so and so. The lecture ends with a reminder the store was being inspected the following day and that if I didn't both complete the cart and make sure my department was basically spotless, I would receive a write-up for insubordination. This came despite everyone knowing how wrecked busy it was and that I was entirely alone. All right, fine. I instruct June to take the front and serve customers while I start working in the back, moving things around, scrubbing floors and walls, etc. But this day is as busy as the last, and I take several breaks from cleaning to help June with her line. We'd alternate between who slices meat and who served hot food and cold salads. Come the end of our shift, every customer is served. The department's cleaner than it's been in years. I'm not flexing. I scrubbed places that hadn't even been touched in years. But still, the cart was not emptied. It's 9 p.m. now and my coworker goes to leave, but I pull out the cart and start stocking shelves. June clocks out and then comes to me, confused. June, aren't you leaving? Our shift is over. We can do that tomorrow. Me, nah, I'm staying. I've got to finish this cart. June, but if you stay too late, you could get in big trouble. Me, you heard them. They said finish this cart before we left tonight, and I'm doing so. June, well, do you want any help? Me, nah, go home to your kid. I got this. She leaves, and not long after, my boyfriend texts me to ask when I'm coming out as he's waiting to take me home. I tell him I'll be a bit longer. After a half an hour, he comes into the store. BF, the hell are you doing? Didn't your shift end almost an hour ago? Me, they told me they'd write me up if I didn't finish the cart today. BF, won't they write you up for staying this late, though? Me, probably. Looks like I'm in trouble either way. So boyfriend waits for me patiently, chats it up a bit with some of the late-stay cashiers while I finish my cart. A little over 2 hours later, my cart is finally emptied out. I even took the time to carefully stack my leftover boxes on the shelves in the walk-in and return the cart to the back of the store before finally clocking out and leaving. The next day, I come in and one of my other coworkers, let's call him Jack, he's a huge worrywart, looks at me with wide eyes when I got to the counter. Jack, girl, you know you're in a lot of trouble for what you did last night. Me, I know, I expected as much. Jack, you're not worried? They could fire you for stealing work hours. We're only given so many hours to give out a week. Me, I was only following the instructions I was given. I was told to finish before leaving. I did exactly that. Jack, well, I hope you're prepared to talk to the managers. I was prepared to talk to them. I was going to lay out exactly why I did what I did. But the manager never came to talk to me. I wasn't written up nor fired. They basically acted like nothing happened and didn't further threaten me with write-ups for insubordination. And our last story. Guy decides he needs handicap parking spot more than my mom. A few years ago, in the middle of good old Canadian winter in January, my mom was heading to her car to go to work. Now, no one knows exactly what happened, but she probably slipped on some ice. But she fell hard enough to slightly crack her skull and she bled pretty bad. My stepdad saw her outside and called an ambulance in time, though. She had no memory for weeks on end and her body wasn't working right for a long time after. Fingers and toes going limp or numb or just not strong or working right. Basically, she was recovering for months. I'm also very protective of her and my siblings. All right, context rant over. On to the story. Me is me, obviously. ED, you'll figure it out. M is my mom. PO is awesome police officer. So this takes place a few weeks after my mom got out of the hospital. She was using a cane to walk as her arms and legs were still pretty weak at times, and so she had a handicap placard. I don't know what you call it where you're from, but that's what it's called in Canada. She needed to get her prescriptions from the store, and I had nothing to do that day, so I volunteered to take her. She lived in a small town at the time with only one major pharmacy, so we of course went there. And as the title suggests, both handicap spots were taken, so I dropped my mom off as close to the door as possible and went to find a different spot. But as I went by the other cars in the handicap spots, I noticed one of them didn't have the placard. This definitely rubbed me the wrong way, of course, since my mom, who really needs the spot, had to walk further, so I did something extremely petty. I decided to park directly behind that car and block them in and waited for them to come out. Not really thinking of how it all looked. A little extra context, since I know we all enjoyed that. I'm a huge metalhead, so I kind of dress the part, even in early spring. Black jeans, high-top shoes, five-finger death punch shirt, metal militia hat, spiked earrings, big red black flannel jacket, and I have a bag case of resting bee face. So thinking back, it looks bad seeing that blocking your car into its spot with your kids in the car. Continuing with the story. The guy comes out and sees me and immediately tears into me. This was a while ago, so dialogue isn't 100% exact. Edie, hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? Me, I'm just here waiting for my mom to get her prescription. Edie, well, you can't just park there and block me in. I need to leave, so move. Me, I mean, if you can park wherever you want, then so can I, right? Considering you took the only other handicap spot and my mom needs it. So I think I'll be staying right where I am. At this point, he's in my face and there's some cussing back and forth. He tries to take my keys and I threaten to knock him out in front of his kids. I know, jerk move, but again, I'm pissed and my adrenaline is firing. Then he decides he's calling the cops. It's a super small town, so there's not a lot going on, and an officer is there in 2 minutes. P.O. All right, gentlemen, what's the issue? E.D. This kid's blocking my car for no reason. Arrest him or make him move. Me. Yeah, I'm blocking him, but only because my mom needed this spot and he's parked here illegally. He starts to get the other guy's side of the story and looks at our vehicles when my mom finally comes out. Mom. Oh, P, what's going on? P.O. Hello, ma'am. How are you feeling? Been a while since I've seen you. How's your head doing? I heard you were in the hospital for a while. When E.D. hears this and sees my mom, he goes white. Turns out that was one of the officers that checked on things my stepdad called for an ambulance. And he knew without a doubt she needed that spot. And of course, when she told him about the parking issue, I was told to move and given a warning. He handed the other guy a ticket and gave him a serious talking to. My mom's good now, nothing more than some pins and needles in her fingers and toes sometimes, and I never saw E.D. again, thankfully. People who do that honestly piss me off because they know for a fact that they don't need it. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.